We discuss all the Universal Orlando rooms for 2019 and beyond with Alicia Stella on episode 336 of the Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Hello everybody, it is me, your host Tracy. We have two regular hosts and a special guest tonight. We have Lee.
Hello everyone.
We have Chris.
Hey guys.
And our lovely special guest is Alicia Stella, as you've already heard. Hey Alicia.
You do boop 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 boop.
You've disappointed me there, Alicia. I wanted laser designated active.
I miss it. You used to do that every time, Lee, and I miss it. I really do.
I love it so much. I will never ever forget that episode as long as I live.
No Darren this week.
No. Are we going to make up an excuse for why he's not here?
He's got some appointments.
He has got appointments.
Yes. So
that's it. Just leave that hanging there.
Well,
he's not dead. He's not dying.
We can't disclose it, so
yeah. He's not dead. He's not dying.
He's not tied up in the basement. So he's just got appointments, so he couldn't be here.
Yeah.
So that's it. Right. So, bit of a rumour mill, bit of a fact mill actually as well.
Yeah, because a lot of this stuff is becoming a bit more, not
concrete.
Necessarily. Yeah, that's a
concrete-ish.
Concrete-ish. Yes.
Yeah.
It's freshly poured concrete, not quite set.
Yes.
You can still write your name in it.
It's mud currently.
I think that's a little harsh.
No. They haven't quite laid the concrete yet. It's still the foundations.
Okay.
Bedrock?
Are we allowed to quote Flintstones? That's Warner Brothers, isn't it?
Just bleep it out.
I have no idea where this is going. I've lost control already. What? 3 minutes in. This is
off the rails.
Oh, good grief. Alicia, should we just take control and just...
Let the women do it.
Yeah.
You tell me a subject and we'll jump in.
Right. Well, let's start with the, air quotes, cancelled project of Zelda and Pokemon, shall we?
Go on, Alicia.
Yeah. So this kind of caught me by surprise. I've been hearing for months that, they were considering doing other lands in addition to the, Super Nintendo World. When they moved the Nintendo World from Kids Zone to the new park, I always thought, okay, that'll open first, and then maybe we'll do a Pokemon land at Kids Zone, and maybe we'll do a Zelda land at Islands of Adventure. And some blogs started reporting that, they're going to do a Zelda land at Islands of Adventure. And I'm like, yeah, probably eventually. And they're going to do a Pokemon land at Kids Zone. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. And they're like, no, they're doing it now. I'm like, what? No, why would you open Pokemon before Mario? That doesn't make sense.
No.
But it turns out there were actual plans. I've spoken to people that have seen the plans for the Pokemon land.
Okay.
So it's more than just a rumor. It was an actual fleshed out concept. It just didn't actually get the green light. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't say it's canceled so much as it's shelved. So what I was originally thinking that maybe Mario first and then Pokemon later, I think that's where we're back at.
Right. I think the thing is, Alicia, when you look at theme parks, there's probably 1,000,001 concepts that are put on the table and up to planning stage that get knocked back.
Yeah. Well, normally when Disney has an idea, they'll have someone like Blue Sky paint a picture and they'll show that picture to someone and be like, hey, that looks like we could build a land out of it. For some reason, Universal lately has been getting the CAD out and drawing 400 pages of detailed plans and schematics and then being like, nah. So not the most efficient way to do Blue Sky, I think.
No, but it gives us plenty to talk about.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, plus you'd have to intro with Mario. I mean, how are you going to do Nintendo and then go in with Pokemon or Zelda first? I mean, great properties, but not Mario.
I mean, they could be like, well, we opened Mario in Japan, we opened Mario in Hollywood. You guys get Pokemon, and then you'll get Mario eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it makes more sense this way. And the blog reporting at the Theme Park University may have phrased it that they want to play wait and see to see how successful the first Nintendo land is before they expand. But I think it just makes more sense to open the main Nintendo land first It'd be weird if Diagon Alley was first before Hogwarts Castle, you know?
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, it's like them opening the Magic Kingdom and not having Mickey Mouse in there first off, putting, I don't know, some other random character in first.
Here's Figment.
Yeah. Who?
Yes, it would be weird.
I still remember sending you that link to Theme Park University, and all I got back of Alicia was, that's right, and that lands that have never been announced cancelled.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, oh yeah, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so more like shelved or tabled, or this information probably shouldn't have gotten it out in the first place because we're still deciding.
Yeah.
Chris, it's something you always bring up quite a lot. Alicia, we're going to get into some rumours and some stuff that have been leaked in here quite a lot.
Yes.
And Chris always seems to bring up that he believes that a lot of these leaks
Air quotes.
aren't really leaks.
Ah, yes.
Well, it depends on which one you're talking about. I'm sure some of them are, divvied out to certain people on purpose. I know Disney, especially, they're like experts. They'll give this information to this person, this information to this person. Yeah. And maybe it's old ideas or ideas that were on the table but never like greenlit. And they're seeing who reports what to see where the leaks are. But with Universal, I really just think they haven't made up their mind on a lot of stuff. So they keep redeciding things. So we're hearing kind of like the process behind the scenes of like, maybe we should put this over here. Let's tear down Shrek and put this. And then next month it's like, no, I don't know. It's a lot of cold feet going on over there. I don't think they're organized enough for controlled leaks.
See, I always saw them as like some of them at least being strategic leaks. Like you said, you pass along this information. Some of them could also be like smoke and mirrors, pass on incorrect information, get people thinking something else, whatever the case may be. I mean, I just saw us a lot in the tech world, and I just kind of relate that over to here with some of these leaks. I mean, they're just ridiculous.
Disney for sure. Like they wanted, maybe they're thinking of a new name for Hollywood Studios and they leak out Cinemagine and everyone makes fun of it and calls it a Cinnabon. And they're like, oh, well, that was a good, we gauged it by leaking that on purpose. Yeah. That was a good leak.
a trial run.
But Universal.
The thing that gets me is, and I know Darren brought it up 2 weeks ago, is Halloween Horror Nights. Is it, I can't remember which, is it HHN Nightmares?
Mm-hmm.
The site that pretty much put the entire Halloween Horror Nights out. Not necessarily the names, but 6 months in advance. Every year without fail, they're pretty much on the nose.
Okay, well, Halloween Horror Nights is a little bit of a different animal. They strategically leak like code names on purpose to let us try to figure out what it is. Like they'll definitely leak certain information on purpose. But a lot of the stuff I report on is from patents, trademarks, and permits, which are filed because they have to be. Yeah. And, we figured out Fantastic Worlds because it was in a survey and it was trademarked, not because it was a controlled leak. That was just a natural finding of the name. Yeah. And then there was a real leak. Now that leak of the picture, that maybe that was on purpose. I don't know.
I think that's what we were talking about, if I remember rightly, because when you brought that up, wasn't it? It was that image. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, that one may be the most possible of a controlled leak.
Well, when you consider, anyway, we'll get there.
Are you sure? You're very excited about something. Yeah,
it's just easy to get waylaid, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. So we've had a recent closure of the Beverly Hills Boulangerie.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oui.
Yeah.
The bakery. So, I just call it the bakery.
The bakery, which we've already been in
sandwiches. Once. I actually the hot Italian sandwich and the pasta salad. It's magnifique. It's really, really good. And the cheesecake's really good. That I heard many months ago that was going to be closing for something. And everyone was like, it's going to be a synergy thing. Comcast wants to get some synergy into the park. So immediately I'm like, so it's going to be Wachowski's. Is that his name? Wachowski's the bakery from the Fantastic Beasts. That would be the greatest. Let's get that in there.
Kowalski,
Kowalski, sorry. Yeah.
I was thinking he'll do a Matrix bakery. That would be cool.
I was thinking Monsters Inc.
So I thought Kowalski's, and I asked some people and they're like, no, think more NBC. So eventually it came out that it was going to be the Today Show Cafe. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. I mean, they love having their Comcast and NBC Peacock logo at the Today shop, Let's keep it going. And then we just saw a permit a couple days ago that says the Today Show Cafe is the name for the restaurant. So looks like that little piece of information was right. And how that gets incorporated into it, honestly, I think they just had to redo the air ducts, and they're like, the only way we're going to get money for a refurbishment is if we slap an NBC name on this thing. And that's because they gutted that whole building. It's completely hollowed out.
It's like Darren said, you look now, they're starting to get it throughout the resort. It's you walk through City Walk and walk past the NBC Sports Green and Blue into the studios, past the Today Show Cafe to go and ride Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon. Which
exits into the Tonight Shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if that's what they needed to, a 29-year-old building needed a refurbishment, if that's what the Universal Creative needed to slap on there so that maintenance can get in there and fix it, as long as it still has cheesecake. I think it's actually a good name, though, because people walking by may, associate it with a breakfast time. Like it's a morning show. So like, hey, I want a coffee and a pastry. Yeah. It kind of, Beverly Hills Lingerie, it sounds like they sell lingerie. So,
if I'd known that, I'd have gone in more often.
So I think it's actually a good name. I don't really care as long as they keep cheesecake.
Yeah. So what we think is probably just going to be the same menu.
Probably.
Just with a new
completely
look.
New look. Yeah. New shiny silver and white with the orange logo in the window. Yeah. That's what I'm seeing.
Which I'm hoping.
Quite modern and fresh, I'm
hoping at this point that this is the start of that whole front of the park getting a refresh because it desperately needs it.
Yeah, you keep hoping that. You keep hoping that. It's a hodgepodge and it's going to get hodgier and podgier. There's nothing, I imagine one day they'll close Shrek and they'll put a little more facade on it like they did with Despicable Me, but I don't see them losing the building.
I just want to skip back though, because when you said you thought Matrix with what Alicia said for the bakery.
Wachowskis,
Yeah. And I'm thinking, would the cheesecake come with or without a spoon?
Haha, there is no spoon. Jesus.
I had to go back and get that in.
Fair enough.
I was quite proud of that one.
But yeah, I'm all for it. Like I say, it's Tracy, you and I have been in it once, literally, in however many trips we've had at this point, so it's not going to affect me in the slightest.
And it wasn't for not wanting to go in, it was just we ate other places.
Yeah, I've never been there.
But they could do with somewhere for decent breakfast because
desperately.
There isn't an awful lot of places on that resort to get breakfast. Really?
Can you still get breakfast at Leaky Cauldron? I think you can.
As far as I'm aware, you can.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same as what you can get at the Three Broomsticks.
Yeah, exactly. That's at least they have something because that's where early entry is. So that's a good spot to go do the rides and then grab breakfast while the park starts filling up.
It would be nice if they had some breakfast snack carts.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to throw this out there for you, Lee. Breakfast bus sandwich. Just letting you know. It's still a delicious option, and I highly recommend it.
You need to trademark that one, Chris.
The problem is, Chris, I won't be on a bus to have a breakfast bus sandwich.
Fast and
where you can
Furious.
get breakfast.
Don't cut anything out.
Voodoo Donut.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
You start your day off with a sugar rush.
Balanced
and
diet.
End my day off with
donut
a sugar
in each
rush.
hand.
Yeah.
Can you carry a coffin round with you? Are the new lockers big enough to get a coffin inside now?
You think the $2 lockers are expensive. Try the locker for your coffin.
I feel like if you left a coffin there, no one would touch it. I'm just going to leave this alone.
Yeah. Especially if you've got a small child with you. You put the small child in and say, stay there. If anyone takes a love, say boo.
This is the child swap room.
Oh, I think we better move on. Right. So we're going to talk a replacement now, which is Terminator 2 3D.
Alicia, before you start, please tell me what they've planned for this has changed.
I could tell you that, but it wouldn't be true. Then and it's speaking to rumors. There are countless rumors out there that they changed their mind and it's not Jason Bourne. But that's the thing about rumors.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're not true and they come from a place of hope.
Yeah.
And I think from what I've seen from aerial photography and some photos and even just walking to that path behind to get to the Hard Rock Hotel, you could see that it looks exactly like the permits and the existing plans for a Jason Bourne stunt show. So they're expanding the theater on the left and the right to accommodate for more live actors, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
regardless of what the show is. That's, I mean, yeah, Jason Bourne. It's like, really?
It's not really relevant, is it?
No.
Anymore.
Are they basing it off the new TV show then, Alicia? Do you know?
Not from what I've seen. I think it's the first movie. I think we're going old school.
Oh, nice.
Like,
what's
wow.
that? That's at least 10
Matt
years.
Damon will be there for the first show then.
He'd be in it
With his walking stick.
because he can't do anything else now.
Bourne's really old now.
I think Universal is thinking they're pretending this is a classic, like a timeless classic, the original
What?
film.
That's
They're
reaching a
hoping
bit.
that if they show you a mini car chase with the minis, like it'll remind you that you used to like this movie. And I think there's going to be one in the queue. So like they're hoping that the nostalgia kicks in as soon as you walk in the door. And it's like, oh yeah, that first one was good. Those other four were terrible, but this first one, I remember that.
I'm glad they're replacing Terminator 2 with something that's still sticking to the same formula that was, because I've always said that is my favourite sort of sit-down 3D showing anywhere, honestly.
And has real people.
Yeah, we might even see more real people because we don't have,
And exactly, and that's what I was going to say. Like, there's some pluses here, regardless of what the property is. Bourne. We know that they've expanded the armory. We know that there are permits for fire effects on the stage.
Wow.
Okay.
There,
of course, it's Universal. There has to be fire effects.
And the only fire effect I think for Terminator was the gun blast out of the robots. Yeah. Like I don't think there was any big. We're talking like vents on the stage where flames come up is being installed for the new show, and I think it's cool to actually have a stunt show with guns again. Like we haven't, like the Terminator show was keeping it going, and I missed the Wild West stunt show because the free fall after the guy gets shot is like, it's pretty brutal for a theme park environment. So I'm excited to see things like that. Oh, there was a permit for a treadmill facing a screen. So I don't know if like the actor's going to be running in place and it's going to be a moving background.
Oh,
like they're running away from you or running toward the audience. So it's kind of immersive with the actors in front of a screen instead of just watching a screen.
It will be, I bet it's going to be similar to that video that did the rounds on Facebook or whatever before Christmas, where that guy in like the neon suit thing,
Oh, that was from
America's Got Talent type thing.
That was a really cool show.
Those were really cool.
It was omni.
Like he was
directional,
on like
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
something.
that was
I tell you
pretty
what, if
cool,
they
that.
could pull something like that off in it, I would be. What they need to do for me is they need to innovate. It needs to be more than what T2 was. Then I'll be impressed. If it's just the same thing again, live actors in front of like a 3D screen or whatever, if it's literally just the same thing again, I'll be disappointed. But they need to step it up.
I mean, it'll be hard to beat that.
I know.
But whereas that one kind of led you into the 3D movie and then you're in the story and it's just like the room goes dark and you're in the 3D movie. I think this one's going to keep it more a mix the whole way through. And there's no 3D glasses. Yeah. So I'm hoping for maybe little interstitial like segments on the screens while they redress a little bit, or different props come out, or different scenes are set up. But I'm not thinking we're going to be like, oh, now here's the 15-minute long segment that's just screen.
Good.
I don't see that happening.
Yeah, it's a little more old school then. I'm
hoping. Yeah, I would like for it to be like the Wild West stunt show, where it starts off as, "Hey, welcome to our stunt show." I would love, or even Indiana Jones, where it's just flat out a filming of stunts. Like that would be great, but I don't see that happening. It'll be more like Sinbad.
I find it funny how we still have Alicia and end up talking about T2.
Laser designators active.
Yes.
Prepare to fire. Lock and load.
That's Lee. Happy now?
I am.
Yeah,
happy smile.
You can move on.
Show's over.
Right, moving on indeed.
Real quick before we move on, do you think that the Passholder Lounge is going to stick around? They've extended it till March.
Right.
Yeah, hope so.
Tracy and I have just become annual pass holders. Yes. So the answer is no, it won't.
It won't be, no.
From one of the team members I spoke with, which is so funny, the day that it got extended, I'm asking them, and I'm in there and I'm like, please tell me you're going to extend this. And they're like, we don't know yet. We haven't heard yet. I get home and they're like, we extended it. I'm like, it's because I asked. It's because I asked. They told me that it might stick around, but it might not be in that same spot.
Okay.
So they might bounce it around to kind of like utilize different spaces. So maybe after this new show opens, they might want to reclaim that as retail.
I'd like to see them do something in both parks actually as well.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about the big one, really. The Potter coaster. There's much speculation.
I still can't believe we're this close in and we're still talking about speculation.
I know.
I can't believe you say the big one, and I'm like, which one? Because there's 3 big things happening right now, and Potter Coaster is like, that's already in my rearview mirror. We talked about that last year. Let's move on. Oh wait, that didn't open yet. Okay,
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, the big one this side of the ad.
Yeah,
yes.
There we go.
The one I was going to bring up, we talked about this briefly before we went on air, and it's everybody's ummed and ahed over what that building is. Is it part of
Which
Hogwarts?
One?
The Hogwarts looking, the Hogwarts looking building. And we were watching Tim Tracker's video last night, and he brought up something I hadn't actually heard until he brought it up.
The boathouse?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I Googled pictures of the boathouse, and I have to say, I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Isn't the boathouse, well, now I'm going to Google it. Isn't the boathouse a little less old looking than that? Not that much, but a little less.
The pictures I found of it last night, it looked very, very similar. It depends when they say it's going to take. This is the thing. When is it going to take place?
True.
Yeah, well, the boathouse also is made of wood, so there's that too.
Is it? Not the picture I saw last night.
It's a boathouse, and it's got a Well, now that is interesting because it's like
it's wood and
got water down the center. Yeah, there's no giant oval window on the side that we pass through. This is way too, and if you look at the size comparison of a person walking in it in concept art, it's way too small. Like the thing they're building for this ride is bigger than the concept art for the boathouse.
Then
in
God
real
knows.
life.
I have no idea what it is then. There's some random building they've just made up and it's not going to have any sort of continuity whatsoever. Yes, but all the Potter nerds are going to be go, that building does not exist anywhere near Hogwarts. Get it out.
That's true.
You've got to get something to moan about.
I like the idea that it's that JK, she's on a kick. We're like, hey, I'm just making up stuff now and it's canon, it's canon. So why is it really that shocking that she's like, well, let's make a new ride that takes place in something I'm writing now? And it's like she's excited to write new stuff. I think it's just something in the I'm not even gonna say Forbidden Forest because I don't want to confuse anyone. In the Dark Forest. It's probably just an old ancient abbey. That's decrepit and because it looks hundreds of years unkempt. The way that they're putting the moss all over it and everything. I think it's just something new.
The interesting question is at this point, how involved is she in it now? Like obviously when they built
still very much so.
Hogsmeade, she was all over it all the time.
I mean, Potter is her full-time job now. She tried writing other things for like a day and she's back on board the Potter train. So I'm sure she's involved. And I'm sure there's always the theory that this location shows up in a future Fantastic Beasts movie of it being less old. Like they're at some old abbey in the middle of Scotland in the past. And that's where some like great wizard battle happens. And then we go on the ride and all the damage from the wizard battle from a movie that hasn't come out yet is seen on this abbey. And we're like, whoa, they knew what they were doing the whole time. I don't know if that's true, but that would be pretty cool.
That's some good synergy there.
I think we're within a month and a half of them announcing full details on this thing. It could be any day now. Usually on a Thursday, though, so be ready.
Yeah.
Oh, it's always after. It's usually the day after we record.
So when's this opening?
Well, I heard. Alicia, what did I send you? I can't remember. Was it May 27th, March? What day? What was it? Memorial Day.
It wasn't Memorial Weekend, right?
Yeah.
That's what I got told.
Okay, so it's definitely going to be up and running for us coming.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I'm bothered about. That's good.
And I was worried that was going to be too soon, but they are testing the trains right now. They're doing kind of like a pull through and then a little like a light launch test to see if there's anything wrong with the track. And they already did all the clearance tests, so that's all done. I was worried because there's a lot more rock work that needs to come in, but it's prefabricated, so it should go up pretty quick.
Yeah.
I will say though, breaking news. I'm going to say it right here. That part with the spike that you go up and then go backwards. I believe there has been a theming cut and it will not be fully enclosed.
Aww.
And that is a big bummer for me because like I was really looking forward to it. Maybe I got bad information and maybe they're going to do it anyway. But I guess if you're going to cut something, some prefabricated rock work is not the biggest deal.
What gets me though is you wouldn't mind so much if it got cut for budget now, and then when we make a fortune from all these new people that are going to come and ride it, we will retroactively go back in and do that. But Universal
it's possible.
Yeah, but no, they won't. Let's talk about Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls. No. We know that had about half the animatronics in it was supposed to have, and they've never touched that since.
It's still highly rated. Well, let's talk about Spider-Man. They redid it in 4K, added 16 more seconds to every scene, and just a few weeks ago added better special effects for projections on the windows when you're rising up and levitating off the ground. You can actually see people in the windows now. So they're still tweaking that.
But the difference between something like, I'm going to argue all the way, between something like Spider-Man and Ripsaw Falls is, as far as Ripsaw Falls, Universal haven't got a Disney/Marvel corporation breathing down their neck, making sure that they keep those attractions at the top of their game. Otherwise, they'll go,
they do have a J.K. Rowling breathing down their neck to make sure the Potter things are getting updated.
True.
They added 4K to the Forbidden Journey. They ripped out the 3D from Hollywood, but they still used the same movies that they re-rendered at a higher quality. So it's entirely and if this is the only cut, I think that we got off pretty lucky, because there's a lot that could have been cut, that if they take out Fluffy, I'm gonna be upset. That's gonna be the last straw. But the foundation was laid for Fluffy, so I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Good.
It's just weird that they're cutting stuff based off of budgeting for a Harry Potter ride.
Yeah, that does seem weird, doesn't it?
Just that's their cash cow. Why would you just put everything into it? They already made, they paid for the ride 10 times over just on butterbeer.
Take it with a grain of salt. It's something I heard, and it seems illogical, but they also planted the trees behind it really close, which was why I started asking questions. I'm like, why did they plant that tree there? They have to put a cave right there. So there's at least a cave entrance. So you don't see the spike coming up. It's like a surprise still. It's just not going to be dark.
But then it was the same with Forbidden Journey. I remember talking to Hate to Fly about all the stuff that got cut from Forbidden Journey that was supposed to be in there.
Like Dementor hands?
And there was supposed to be originally the dragon. There was supposed to be a section where the dragon breathed actual fire on you, and then there was supposed to be like a wizard cast a spell, and they were going to put an actual screen in front of you, so it looked like someone was casting a protection spell, so that fire would hit it and kind of splay out in front of you, and that got cut, because that would have been amazing.
Yeah, they filed a patent for that. Maybe in real life it didn't end up working as well. It's hard to keep a piece of glass clean that has fire on it.
On top of that, that was when they were first opening Potter. I don't think they knew the success they were going to get from there.
True.
Yeah.
At that time too.
Yeah. Let's face it. At the end of the day, anything can happen. Nothing's set in stone until a date opens.
This is the problem.
Who knows what the name is?
Yeah.
This is the problem with us, though.
The day before we get that information.
Because we hear all this stuff, so then we go in and go, oh, they cut that. Whereas the average guest walking in is not going to know any of that and just come out and go, that was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's true.
Let's face it can't be any worse than Fast and Furious.
You can't say that you haven't ridden it. Alicia, what's your take on Fast and Furious? I don't believe we've actually got yours.
I actually kind of had fun the first few times that I went on it, because I went in expecting it to be the worst thing I've ever ridden. And it still is the worst thing I've ever ridden, but it's almost so bad it's good.
Right.
But the last time I went on it, I was sitting in the very front on the right side, the very right. And the whole time, because of where I was seated, like during the Musion scene, I look up and I'm like, oh, look, that's the screen for the Musion. It's at a 45-degree angle. You can just watch it right up there outside the window. That's pretty neat. And like, I'm so out of the story that I'm just watching the Musion backwards above the tram. And then during the ride in the front, they spray you with the blasts of fog and spray and stuff. They've actually turned it up a couple weeks ago. Like they did a walkthrough with some executives or something. They're like, what can we do to fix this? They're like, we'll block the view of the screen with smoke. So it actually sprays twice as hard as it ever has before. Wow. And if you're sitting right in front of that spray, it gets you right in the face. I'm on the right side. My glasses are completely covered in water. And I'm just laughing because I can't see anything. And I'm like, this is actually the best it's ever been. It is kind of cool though. If you're looking through the windshield, you can see where you're going, and that's a problem with Kong is that you can't see in front of you, and they kind of like fog the window on Kong. But this, like, you got a full view of the mannequin sitting there because they cut the budget. They're like, wait, who cares? Let's just put a mannequin. Who needs an animatronic? And you can see the road ahead of you, and that's actually kind of interesting. But otherwise, garbage fire, just a dumpster fire.
So the takeaway you would say is expectations all the way on the ground, and you'll have not that terrible of an experience.
Well, that's it.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is the first modern day ride we see transformed and changed within 2 years.
Okay.
Ever since Journey into Your Imagination at Epcot, or like Superstar Limo at California Adventure, like a big change and closing it much sooner than they'd want to. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll reserve judgment until October.
Here's hoping for that.
I still want to ride it before they close it, though.
Yeah.
You might have to hurry. I mean, it's a big building. If you hollow it out, you can put literally anything else there.
Yeah, it is a big space, isn't it? Right. Time for an ad break to mull over what we've already talked about and prepare for what's coming next.
Doesn't listening to the crew at UUOP every week make you wish that you were actually at Universal Orlando Resort? Well, stop wishing and start doing. Mouse and Muggle Travel Company is the perfect place to begin. Their team of concierge-level travel planners will help you every step of the way. From finding the right fit for your family and budget to customized itineraries and insider tips. They can handle it all. Even if a hiccup that is up to no good arises during your trip, Mouse and Muggle Travel Company will manage the mischief for you. And for you Muggles who also love the mouse, their team of experts specialize in Disney destinations too. And the best part of all, their services are free to you. So, if you're ready to plan your next Disney or Universal vacation, let Mouse and Muggle Travel Company do all the work for you. Just go to mouseandmuggle.com and fill out a no-obligation quote request. Or send an email to info@mouseandmuggle.com. It's that simple. So what are you waiting for? Just raise your wand and repeat after me. Accio, phone. Didn't work? Muggles. Here, try some pixie dust instead. And remember, whether you're a mouse or a muggle, Mouse and Muggle Travel Company can help make your next vacation simply magical.
Welcome back. Right. Are you ready for part 2? We're going to go with another coaster this time. What are you laughing at?
I'll apologise to Brad Jost. Brad, if you're listening, it's not my fault. We're just reporting these rumours.
We didn't make the decisions.
So we are heading into Jurassic Park and the coaster that's coming and a potential Jurassic World takeover.
No. Go on, Alicia. It's not happening. They're not changing that to Jurassic World, are they?
You know, I was like the longest holdout on this rumor. If you've listened to my podcast or read my articles, I have always been like, maybe we'll move it to the fourth gate. Like I'm almost like I'm in the bargaining stage now. I'm like, I don't want to lose Jurassic Park. Let's just, keep Jurassic Park as it is. Add the gyrosphere ride to the fourth park. Come on, do work with me here. But there's a very good. I'm 90% sure they're turning this land into Jurassic World.
Really?
It just feels like it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it was Seth mentioned last week about them filing the patent for, was it Camp Cretaceous?
The trademark. Yes.
Trademark. Yeah.
Yes, Camp Cretaceous. It was Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, in case there was any question. Which is funny because you might not know, but there's actually the Cretaceous Trail at Animal Kingdom in Dino Land, USA. Yeah. So it's a hard word to spell. Cretaceous. And it is where the T-Rex and the raptors are from. So it's a more accurate name than Jurassic Park.
Yes.
That's very true.
It's possible, that because I don't think they have room for a play area in Hollywood where it is going Jurassic World this year. So, and it says it was trademarked for the use in theme parks for play areas. So yeah, Camp Jurassic, which rolls off the tongue, might be turning Cretaceous.
Yeah, Camp Cretaceous doesn't sound as good as Camp Jurassic, does it?
Maybe just because we're used to it. I don't know.
Are they going to change the games in the Discovery Centre to You Bet Cretaceous? That doesn't have the same ring either, does it?
How about the fact that they got approval for You Bet Jurassic? Because that's dangerously close to cursing. So back to the Jurassic World thing, they put up these work walls. They put up these work walls around all the things that I've been saying they're going to put work walls around, and they just put up logos, Jurassic logos on the work walls, and they're gray and they're just the circle. They're from what I've heard from people that are working on projects, they are ambiguous between Jurassic Park and Jurassic World on purpose. That way they can remain from now until maybe a changeover happens later without having to change the signage. So you'll notice they don't say Jurassic Park. They don't say Jurassic World. They're not like old and rock shaped, but at the same time, they're not new and red and yellow. So it's kind of in between. So regardless of Jurassic Park or Jurassic World, it does look like they're building a roller coaster.
That's what we're talking about. Roller coasters. Yes.
Sorry, which I think everybody will agree that's a good thing.
It is.
No, not everyone agrees.
No.
I did bring up something last night and I'm quite sad about it. I suddenly realised that lovely, lush, quiet area
that no one
is
knows
no
about.
more. And for me, we're losing places where people can go because people do have anxiety. People do have children that need calming. People have family members with issues where they need nice calm places, and lush places like that are calming within themselves. And we're losing them. And I really like that, with just that lovely serene view across the lagoon. And
I think if you think back to when we had Maureen on to do a top 5 places to escape the crowds, that was one of them in Ireland. Anyway, for me personally,
it's unfortunate too because the back porch for Three Broomsticks is also going to be close to a roller coaster track, and that was another quiet place to escape.
No,
what?
The coaster track goes all the way up to the Three Broomsticks back entrance.
No,
how?
Wow.
It goes over where the bypass bridge is, but they're probably going to move
Jurassic
the bypass
Park
bridge.
one. Sorry, I was thinking that part. Right?
No,
okay.
no, not the Potter coaster.
Keep
this
up.
coaster.
No, that's what confused me.
Oh no!
So we're losing 2 quiet areas, actually.
No way.
There'll still be behind Mythos is still a nice quiet escape, and behind Popeye is still nice.
Yeah, I like it down there.
So you have the 2 sides, but you're losing the back.
And the entire of Lost Continent because no one goes in there, so it's fine.
That's true. It's always quiet there. Go sit in front of Sinbad, behind the fountain. It's serene now.
And Sneech Beach around there is pretty quiet.
What do we know about this coaster then, Alicia? Because I'll be honest, I haven't really had a chance to read anything. Sorry.
It seems to be another Intamin launch coaster. The joke is they got a 2-for-1 deal when they were buying the parts for Potter, so might as well build another one.
Okay.
If you go by the logic that they tore down 2 roller coasters to build the new Potter coaster, then they still owe us 1 more coaster.
True.
Because Dueling Dragons was 2 tracks independent of each other. This will be very more thrilling, a much more adventurous ride. The rumor has it as the fastest multi-launch coaster in the world. Beating Tehran in Phantasialand in Germany by a couple miles per hour. Okay. Which is also by Intamin.
Yes.
That sounds amazing.
That's the fastest multi-launch coaster, not like lift hill coasters, which have faster ones.
So I'm assuming we're not going to have any inversions then.
There'll probably be 3 inversions.
Okay.
It will have 2 launches. That much we know for sure. One launch will be right after the start of the ride, which will probably have a show scene. So like you load on the coaster and then it has a slow moving show scene, and then it launches you into the fun stuff. And this is all taking place, the beginning stuff and the loading, it's all taking place in the old Triceratops encounter. It looks like the entrance to the ride is going to be down by the waterfront, though, in front of Discovery Center.
Oh, that'll be nice.
So, kind of force people to go down there for the first time ever.
So multi-launch, like Cheetah Hunt at Busch Gardens.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, the Potter coaster is going to have 6 launches, technically.
Yeah. I do like
this is
that.
only going to have 2, but they're going to be big. The first one's going to be like a medium launch, maybe pretty close to the first launch in Cheetah Hunt, actually.
Okay.
But this second launch on this one is going to be the fastest and most powerful launch in Florida. And it's going to take you up like a near vertical, they call it a top hat. Oh. But in this case, it's going to be like a modified top hat. So it's not 90 degrees, but still, we're talking 100 and something feet straight up in the air. And then you fall back downward in front of the Discovery Center, heading towards Hogsmeade. And at that point, you're going to go about 73, 74 miles per hour.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Brad. I don't care about the theme in this song. Awesome already.
Now, Alicia, is that going to be, is it rumored to be all outside? Is there any indoor pieces to it?
I think the first show scene is either going to be indoor, like the Hulk tunnel, or semi-indoor. The rumor seems to be that this is all based on the Raptors. So if it's Jurassic World, there's a very good chance that it's the stables for the Raptor enclosure. And the launch is the doors opening and the Raptors running out. And we're one of the Raptors.
So the Cheetah Hunt theme.
Exactly.
Makes perfect
Cheetah
sense.
Hunt, Raptor Hunt.
Yep.
Awesome.
Is that the name?
To see some animatronic Raptors running.
I hope so. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
even if it was just a split second where the doors spring open and you see them like nudge out a couple inches, it would be pretty convincing because we're going to launch away anyway.
Yeah.
And then so after just following the track, after going in front of the Discovery Center, it's going to be like a 540 big circle. I think this first drop is going to be nearly above the Discovery Center, and it's going to go to the right. Do you know where the bypass bridge is that takes you from Lost Continent to Jurassic?
Yes.
It goes right over the center of that and makes a full loop circle. And in there, I think there might be an inversion, like a barrel roll. And then we go back in front of the Discovery Center, this time really low to the water, like really low.
Awesome.
And then head back to the unload platform back in Triceratops encounter. What'll be interesting is that we only have like the two pieces of track in front of Discovery Center across. So if you're looking at the view across from the water, one's kind of above and one's really low to the water. So it shouldn't ruin the view too much. I mean, it'll be new coaster in front of the view, but it'll also kind of add a little energy to that side of the park.
Yeah, I suppose if you think you walk up port of entry and you look across the water to see the Discovery Center and a coaster flying around, you're like, get me over there now.
Yeah, exactly.
A great way to bring people back there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the extended queue outside is actually going to be along the left front side of the waterfront. If you're looking at the Discovery Center, the left side is going to be queue, and the entrance is going to be close to the left side of the Discovery Center. But the whole right side of the waterfront is still going to be accessible for just walking around and looking at the coaster and looking at the water. So we won't lose that space, at least.
Oh, that's good.
Have we got a time frame on this at all, Alicia?
Permits uncovered by the wonderful Chip Scambus of WFTV have it as a year and a half for construction. And we still have some demolition of the Triceratops encounter. They got to tear down all the barns. The walls went up around that last week, so that should be getting started soon. If the year and a half thing is right, then we're looking at, the middle of next year to open. But they may take their time and they may drag their feet to try to get it open 2021 so they don't have back-to-back coasters opening. That's my theory.
That'll
what if
happen.
they got opening next year, though? Nothing.
I mean, there's also been a rumor that they pushed the T2 replacement until the next year just so they can spread out things a little bit. But they have a new movie, Jurassic World 3 or Jurassic Park 6 or whatever. It comes out in 2021 in the summer.
That makes sense.
It's entirely possible we get a new coaster, a rebranded, redone Hollywood version of the River Adventure here. And the redone Camp Jurassic and maybe the first floor of the Discovery Center, all done by 2021. It might come online slowly or in sections, but I think the goal might be to get it all done by the new movie.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
Yeah,
they had Blue online, and meet people right when the second movie came out.
I mean, they need to do something in that area because we've said it before. It's an area of the park I spend very, very little time in. Because there's, other than if you're not wanting to ride water rides, there's not a lot else in there to do.
You bet Jurassic.
And I won it. And the last time I went in there, I won, and only 2 of my buttons were working.
But I love Jurassic Park. But I love the greenery and just that peaceful vibe.
It's a walkthrough from. We've just been over to Marvel. We've passed it. No, we're not riding water rides today. So you go through Toon Lagoon, you go through Jurassic Park just to get to the Wizarding World.
I like to loiter Look at the foliage. I'm an old woman now.
It would reinvigorate the area to turn it into Jurassic World. If they did the ride over that they're doing in Hollywood, if they did that over here, you're going to see long lines for that because it's different. And people are going to want to see the new animatronics and stuff.
Well, even if you just slap Jurassic World on it, it'll probably reinvigorate that area anyway, even if you don't change anything.
That's what Disney does.
Yeah.
Hey, come to Metroville, now open in Pixar Place.
Yeah, we saw that.
It's an attraction, air quotes.
Yeah, I know we haven't got tiny kids, but these dance party things, I just don't get them.
You don't dance anywhere, do you?
Yeah, but even if I did, there's other places to do it than... Anyway.
Hey, the one in Dinoland USA that was supposed to be temporary but has become permanent is actually kind of cute and fun. Chip and Dale are dressed up as dinosaurs.
I've seen that.
You cannot beat Chip and Dale. I'm sorry, but
Chipmunkosaurus. Yes, that one's pretty clever.
I know. I would just want to sneak one of those home. They are the cutest things ever. Sorry, that's something Disney are likely.
Real quick about Jurassic World. Next month, they're going to move the raptor encounter across the street. And when you see that happen, then you know that it's time that they tear down and demolish the Triceratops encounter. So anyone that wants to go get their picture taken with that slab, that rock with the Triceratops fossil in it that used to be the entrance sign for Triceratops encounter, I would go get a picture with that right now.
I love
that. Who knows how long it'll be.
You've never seen it. We've literally never done the Triceratops encounter.
No, I'm thinking of the other one. That's okay.
You've said that a lot this week. Oh, I missed that. Like, you've never done it.
So but that sign is gonna. Hopefully, it gets moved to a different area of Jurassic Park. But in the meantime, who knows how long it'll be gone, and who knows if it'll crumble when they move it. So just in case, go get a picture.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it pops up in the prop shop.
It might be a little heavy.
Yeah.
Solid rock.
Bring your own forklift.
Is it solid rock though?
Well, I mean, it's probably rebar with rock work on it, but it's
heavy enough.
Still plaster.
Yeah, you're not going to get that in your hold luggage.
I don't know. Andy, you'd try, or Brad, one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
It would be cool to have that, mind.
We could have that, but we'd need a garden.
You don't need a garden. You just make your back wall out of it.
It would fill the yard.
Anywhere.
It is pretty big.
Right, from one world to another.
Haha, I take that for a segue.
I never get to do segues. I'm so happy. Yes. So what was I saying? I'm too happy.
From one world to another.
Yes, I know. So yes, we're going to hop from Jurassic to Fantastic Worlds.
Now, worlds plural.
Yeah. Quite excited about the potential here.
It makes sense to bring Jurassic World to Fantastic Worlds because it's got world in the name.
Exactly.
It writes itself, people.
Yep. So going back to that image that got leaked, Alicia, right? This is the thing that kind of makes you think that was leaked on purpose, because along the top of that image was, please do not distribute this picture. And you think someone would get their ass kicked big style.
Yeah.
Because that was out there and went...
Yeah, but if you're a big company, you're going to leak something and you want it distributed, why would you write do not distribute on it? Is it reverse psychology?
Probably.
Yeah, when you're a kid and they tell you not to touch something,
what
do you want to do?
Sorry, what do you mean by when you're a kid? Lee's still the same
while
now.
We're all children at the moment and you don't touch something, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it is. Exactly.
I think it was a genuine leak. But that, it's just a feeling. I have no proof or evidence. What is not a leak, though, is just a couple months ago, there was a big meeting in Orange County where they were discussing all the different development plans for expanding roadways, building a parking lot for a new theme park, lots of different things that were very, very real. And then that was pretty exciting. So even if the name of the theme park wasn't Fantastic Worlds, even if we didn't get that leaked image, it's still pretty cool to know that they're actually building a new theme park.
Yeah. I mean, this is the first time since Animal Kingdom
Islands
in
of Adventure.
90, what was that, 99?
99, I think.
Did that open before Islands of Adventure?
Animal Kingdom was a year before.
Right?
Yeah.
So
it was
Islands
98.
was the last one then?
Yep.
And I hate to go back and do this, but we have a name for a new theme park that's years away. Nothing for the Potter coaster.
That is an excellent point.
I love it. Yeah, that just about sums Universal up, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we also knew the name for Volcano Bay before they announced it, and it was Wondersea, Universal's Wondersea.
Yes, Wondersea Island. Yes, I remember that.
Island. So it's entirely possible that, and speaking of possible, Warner Brothers filed a claim on the trademark and is requesting that they not get approval for Fantastic Worlds because it might be too similar to a trademark they own. They haven't said what trademark they own that it's similar to, but I might guess it's Beasts.
Yeah, come on, seriously though, because you've got a 2-word title and one of them happens to be the same as one that you have. It's just ridiculous.
They're not going to win because it's too general.
Word. Fantastic is a general word.
Yeah, no, when you have a common adjective and a common noun, I don't think you can win that case.
No.
Unless 2 out of 3 words or something were similar. But it is interesting that they've been granted, I think, a couple more months to prove their case before the trademark's actually approved for Universal to use it.
Warner Brothers seem to be throwing their hat in the ring quite a lot in the theme park world at the moment. It does worry me slightly as far as where Universal are going to stand on things.
Yeah, and one of the rumors is that there would be a Fantastic Beasts land in this park, but it's entirely possible that one hand doesn't know what the other's doing, and they could be negotiating a deal to build a land and not tell Warner Brothers what they're going to call the park. So that is possible.
So weird. That's the world we live in. This is this is the problem that Universal were always going to fall in at some point, was licensing all these outside properties. It was going to happen at some point that they were going to have trouble with. Now you look at it potentially with The Simpsons, with Disney owning Fox, and then Disney owning Marvel, and now Warner Brothers getting into the game. There's all these properties that are in those parks that if those other companies want to play hardball, it puts them in a very awkward position.
And I think that's why their new park, they're trying to focus on, with the exception of Nintendo, which are new friends, so they're being nice to them. They're trying to focus on their own intellectual property. I mean, even in the Comcast earnings call last year that we got our first official word that they were thinking about building a new gate, they specifically said we have a lot of untapped IP to use for the new park.
Okay.
So they want to focus more on, they want to focus on DreamWorks.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Well, that makes sense.
They have DreamWorks, and moving Nintendo to the new park was almost like an afterthought because they're like, whoa, hold up. Let's pick that shovel back up. I know you're about to break ground tomorrow, but let's move this Nintendo over here because we need a big name to get people through the door, which is what happened with Jurassic Park.
It was a smart move, though.
Adventure.
Yeah.
So what is interesting, I have a leaked document, speaking of controlled or not controlled leaks. I got my hands on photos, not the actual document. I think it's 9 photos from someone that was in the town hall meeting for Comcast and took pictures of the last page of their handout. And that last page went along with that slide. And it says at the top, Universal Orlando Resort, the next step. And it's all about Fantastic Worlds. So I do have some maybe official information that was internal for Comcast.
How much have you sat there and just stared at Alicia, like giggling like a little school kid with something that you shouldn't have?
I held on to it for 2 weeks before I told anyone. I was like, it says do not distribute on it. What do I do? What do I do? I think I convinced myself. I was like, you know what? This was a controlled leak. They want me to leak this. I'm doing them a favor by putting this out there.
You're like Cameron and Ferris Bueller sat in the car going, okay, I'll go. Ah, God damn it!
I did. I laid in bed a whole night just thinking about the consequences. And at a certain point, I was like, you know what? It doesn't have any information that we don't already know. So it's not like revealing some deep, dark secret. It's all stuff that we've either been rumored or has literally been said by the CEO of NBC Universal in that Comcast call. So it specifically says over the next 5 years, Comcast is going to be increasing the competition in Orlando, investing in the theme park segment. It specifically says, here, let me zoom in and read it for you here. This brand new theme park titled Universal's Fantastic Worlds will turn the Universal Orlando Resort from a 2 or 3 day travel destination to a week-long vacation destination. So, and that's nearly word for word what Burke said on the call. So, but I do like this next sentence. The Fantastic Worlds name signifies the many beloved worlds from all types of media that our guests want to step into, experience, and explore in a fully immersive way, from rides to restaurants, shows, shops, and even restrooms.
Ooh. So more Moaning Myrtle.
Yeah.
That was my first thought. I was like, oh, well, they kind of do theme the restroom. So
it's when you'll be sat on the crapper and you'll hear doo 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 doo, and Mario will pop up your ass out the toilet.
It does travel with your pipes.
That's awesome.
Does travel.
And to have a live action stunt show inside the bathroom.
You just got to sit down and be like, it's a Mario. You're like, get out.
So, but what's interesting too is there's alternate versions of the logo that weren't in that slide. It's the same kind of lettering, but it's written all out. It's not stacked, so it's a different iteration. And it does say early logo explorations for our new yet to be announced theme park. So these are still early concepts. Yeah. They're not fully fleshed out yet. So the piece of information that hasn't been released yet that's in this document is, and it's something that I rumored before, and I wasn't sure if it was true because I didn't hear it from reliable sources, but it says, while our creative teams are still in the early stages of developing this new park, we can already reveal some more details besides just the name. The park will be designed in a hub and spoke design with a central icon and space known as a hub, allowing for easy wayfinding between the many immersive worlds. Every time it says worlds, it's in quotes.
Yeah. Because you're then going to have 3 Universal parks, all a completely different layout.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's pretty cool. And
yeah.
The first in the world, I think, first Universal park that's like a Magic Kingdom style.
Yeah. I think we kind of heard that eventually, we heard about a third gate rumored a long time ago. And I think it was always kind of rumored that they were going to go down the route of a Magic Kingdom style park. Not necessarily.
A big difference with this, though, is that they may be where all the lands are kind of like Diagon Alley style, where you don't see into them. It's not like a clear path. It's more like awesome. A portal into the world, where a green warp pipe is all you see. Oof. And you might see like the top of Peach's Castle kind of poking up deep in the world, like you might see the dragon in Diagon Alley from across the lagoon. Yeah. But it's still blocked by the London waterfront. So I think we might see a central hub and then a bunch of portals instead of it being, a bridge to Tomorrowland.
That would be awesome. As clear cut.
Yeah.
That would be so cool. Like something
and that's
like
something that happens in RPG games and video games and virtual worlds and MMOs. That's a very common style, to have a hub and then portals to different worlds.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
When's it opening?
2023? Yeah. Maybe. There is one more thing too that I found really interesting on this document. It says, this brand new theme park will be located along Universal Boulevard and will be one of the largest parks we've built to date. Okay. Even so, we are building the park with a large amount of room for future expansion, allowing for the world of any movie, television show, video game, or more to be featured in our brand new theme park in the future.
Ooh. May I make a suggestion for a world? West.
Yeah, I'd have Westworld.
That show's not... I have a fear that by the 3rd season, everyone's going to lose interest. It kind of lost me toward the end of the 2nd.
It tried to be too clever, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 1st season though was gold.
It was absolutely.
I think this is interesting because it's kind of like the way Epcot World Showcase is built, where it's like, here's a nation, empty plat of land. Here's a nation, empty plat of land. And you don't notice it walking around, but in aerial photography, you can clearly see they left an entire spot for each in between each nation. And when Universal builds a park, it's completely fleshed out, and there might be an expansion plot for a ride. Like they might add an extra ride to Lost Continent or an extra ride to Jurassic Park later on. Like, here's where we're going to put the Jeep ride one day, and here's where we're going to put the Van Helsing ride one day, which was one of the earlier ideas. In this case, it's not just room for a ride; they're going to leave room for a whole world in the future. In between.
So, Alicia, do you think that they're using all that property just for one new gate?
I think they're using, if you look at the development plans, you can see where they're putting the parking lot, and the parking lot is going to be a flat lot to start due to some logistical reasons, namely that it used to be a bomb testing site, but we'll get into that in the future.
Okay.
But to the left of that is this huge open spot, and I think that is for mainly just the theme park. They have other parcels across the street that could be resorts and connected through a land bridge or something, walking bridge. They have other spaces that are on the other side of the parking lot that later could become a water park. And they have a whole nother 400 acres off-site from the new resort that are kind of like satellite parcels. And those could be more resorts with buses into the new resort. So yeah, I'm thinking that a good majority of the land is just for this park.
Interesting.
Because we're talking about the 500 contiguous acres of land is where they're building now, but they still have another 400 and something spread out.
Wow.
That's not necessarily connected.
But isn't so like City Walk, Islands, and then Universal, aren't all those together about 500?
I think so. I think this is what they're building now is a similar size, but with a flat lot. It's going to take up a lot more room than the garages would. Because we're not stacking the cars to start. But it'll be, I compare it to USF when it first opened in 1990. It had the flat lot for parking because it only had the one theme park. And then as it expanded, they had to build the garages. And it's possible we could see that, where if they wanted to build a second park on this land or even just a water park, they might build some garages on the flat lot.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
And then they could start expanding onto the right side. What Universal doesn't want you to know is that they're still clearing some of the hazardous waste off of this plot of land, and they can't build to the right of this parking lot for at least 2 more years.
Right.
So I think, we're not going to see a water park unless you want a toxic waste park.
Well, that's a novel twist.
We're not going to see something else built for years until they get all that taken care of, which they're doing a really wonderful job with working with environmental agencies to clean up the land.
Is the waste from the bomb testing?
Yeah, or just the production of different components from Lockheed Martin.
Gotcha.
Now they're bringing DC in, so it'll be Swamp Thing.
Yeah, it's a Creature from the Black Lagoon is going to be a little creepier than they expect. What's great though is where they're building. The way they've laid it out is based on where they know they can build first, so they can get started on the theme park and the parking lot immediately, and then as time goes on, work on adding more resorts and other things. And we may never see another full-fledged dry theme park in the future if they feel like they've tapped out on the market and gotten as big as they can, like Disney. But then again, maybe we will. I would expect to see another water park down the line because they're hitting capacity on their existing water park. So maybe like each resort gets a water park.
That would make sense. Well, I'm sure we could talk about this for hours and hours and hours, knowing how we go on. But I'm afraid we're going to have to wrap it up there because we have way run out of time and got over. So
Plenty to look forward to this year and well beyond.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time.
We still have a few more episodes left.
Just a couple.
Because we're still going to be going in 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alicia's like, yes, you will be.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking by then we might know the name of the Potter Coaster.
Oh, there's a thought.
I wouldn't bet on it.
It's been open for 3.5 years, but we'll know the name by then.
Right, we shall leave it there. I hope you've enjoyed listening to all of that.
Alicia, plug yourself.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
You can find me on YouTube, Theme Park Stop by Alicia Stella. I have the Park Stop podcast that we post on there. And I have the website orlandoparkstop.com if it's up today. I don't know.
Because Alicia crashed the internet. Wreck-It Ralph 2 has been changed. It's now at Alicia Stella 2. Alicia breaks the internet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, people are clamoring for announcements since Universal don't do it. So
Yes.
Exactly.
gotta come to my website and break it.
Yeah. It's kind of a good thing.
Yes.
It is.
Okay, then we shall leave it there. It's been lovely to have you on, Alicia. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me on.
So for Lee, Chris, Alicia and myself, this has been the Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast.
Cut. Print. That's a wrap for another episode of the Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Never miss a show by subscribing on Apple Podcasts and leave us a rating and review while you're there. Not an Apple user? You can listen on Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, or your podcatcher of choice. Email us any questions or comments to podcast@uuopodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Instagram, and Pinterest. Just search UUO Podcast. Keep up with the latest news, rumors, and updates on our blog at uuopodcast.com. Thanks for listening. See you next week.